Hello and greetings. Hi, my name is Lawrence, and I am the Blue-Dyed Emperor. I want to do a general read today, and let me just kind of summarize what the goal is for today's reading. I want to do a general reading for all energies, not a specific sign. I'll get into those within the next few days or so. But I want to talk about the energy that we are going to be seeing going into June. I just want to recap from a reading of mine back in November. And I said that there was going to be war, that there was going to be death coming in 2020. No one listened. Some of you may have, some of you didn't. But you didn't believe it, right? Because nobody wants to believe that things are like this are going to happen. No more than they want to believe that the housing market is going to collapse or the financial market is going to collapse. And this isn't about fear. And you know what? A reader, a follower of ours, and I said this in one of my other readings, is she said, "Oh, don't spread fear, spread love." Well, love is honesty, right? Love is absolute, unadulterated honesty, right? It's where people in their rawest form allow themselves to be vulnerable enough to think less about themselves. And I'm not talking about just me, I'm talking about in general for people that think less about themselves and more about the people that they can affect in a positive manner by speaking the truth. That's the difference. Fear is, oh my gosh, you're dying tomorrow, you better go run and hide under a rock. Well, to me, that's not even fear, right? Because I just say poppycock. That's bullshit. I didn't call it the bullshit card. But people, come on. We've all been around this planet long enough to realize that fear never resolves anything. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say that fear spawns action. Ooh. Wait, let's not take that out of context, because the first thing people do, oh my gosh, yes, we have to instill fear in people. No, fear of not doing the right thing. Fear of not doing the right thing spawns you into action. Not fear results in bad behavior. And I want to talk about this. I want to talk a little bit about this for just a couple minutes because, as you know, half black, half white. So being a part of this particular group, you had two groups, whites and blacks, that never really associated with you. It just didn't happen, right? You were too light for blacks and too dark for whites. Well, I understand and I get the whole gist of the man who was killed, right? I get that, by a police officer with his foot on his neck. But that man had committed a crime. Did it warrant his death? Absolutely not. But this isn't about black and white. This is about Hispanics, American Indians, Asians, Japanese, whites, blacks, Italians. This is about every race in this doggone world. White on white crime doesn't sell news, so they don't report it. You don't get to hear every day that a cop shot a white person in Alabama or Tennessee fleeing a crime scene. You didn't get to hear about the white guy that died. You didn't get to hear about the Hispanic guy shot and killed in Los Angeles, right? There's no riots for that. You know why? Because the media wants to perpetuate cells and anxiety in our community, and they are the ones that are creating this expansion and the distancing, not because of the coronavirus, distancing of the races, because you never get to hear about all those crimes or how the police shot and killed a Hispanic man or shot and killed an Asian in San Francisco, or shot and killed whatever race. It happens all the time to every race. The only ones you get to see, hold on, I got a hair for my mustache, is the ones that white people perpetrate on black people. Why? Because it sells newspapers, it sells crime. Support the liberation of all races. Don't call this black and white. Don't say, oh, my black brothers and sisters, we support you. No, We support the liberation of all races around the world. Right? At this day, we could send people to the moon and rockets and come up with all these inventions and everything else. We spend more time learning how to make money than we are learning how to live together. I think if you started off there first, making money would come easy, right? But you have to have equality for blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians in the workplace force. You have to liberate people financially first. You have to give people the ability to have access to medical venues, medicines, doctors. That should be college education. The government should be giving us this shit for free. You know why? We pay so much in taxes. So much in taxes that the government is so busy spending it flying around the world in private jets and golfing in the Hamptons and everything else that they forget about every race, not just one race. They forget about every race. And that knee crushing experience where the cop put his knee on the back of the neck, that's a trained technique in the police academy. Don't blame the cop. Blame the idiots that said, hey, this is okay to do this. Start there. Start changing the legislation. Start changing the laws about how people should conduct themselves around other people. Start changing those laws, and you'll prevent this stuff from happening. Because that's not the first black man that ever had a knee in his neck. I guarantee you, there's Mexicans and there's whites and there's Asian people that had knees on their necks as well too. You just didn't hear about the deaths because you know what? That doesn't sell newspapers. No white person is running around with the video camera videotaping all the things that are happening to all the white people. Black people walk around with cameras in their hands like it's everyday business news. Everybody wants to be a news broadcaster. And I can say black brothers and sisters because I am one. I appreciate the cameras. Thank God that you're carrying them. But white people do the same. Every color of every nation, do something. If you see something going wrong, film it, report it. Don't hide behind the reeds. How many women are still just getting killed in their own homes by their husbands? Or how many husbands and children are getting killed by their spouses or boyfriends because of craziness? We allow it to happen, but you don't get to see it in the news. Maybe once in a while you do, but you don't see it on the news. If you've seen a wife being battered on camera, and I watched Oprah Winfrey the other day on an old YouTube video of a woman who videotaped from a hidden camera her son. The husband made her own son film her getting her ass kicked by the husband and belittled and berated. The son filmed it. Went on YouTube. You didn't see it in the news. You didn't see it in the news. You seen it on Oprah Winfrey, but you didn't see it on the news because what? No, they didn't think it was newsworthy. It didn't sell any papers. Stop burning our buildings, our towns, our cities down because that doesn't help us, right? Where are you going to shop after you done burnt the building down? And who are you hurting by stealing the TV? When you're stealing the TV or the receiver that you didn't have, now that you got it, how good is that going to feel? After all is said and done, right, that you damaged and broke and stole and broke the law. How good does it feel to break the law? Lawlessness never provided any security or any movement in a positive direction for any race ever in all history. It's a crime. One crime doesn't beget another crime. Forget the eye for an eye shit. You steal from me or kill me, I'm going to kill you. Really? Jesus himself, advocator, no violence. He let himself be crucified with no aggression, even when Peter tried to fight back, the Lord said, put down your weapon. Martin Luther King, he could have had an army of black people fighting and killing and fighting the first race war way back when. But you know what? If a person is an aggressor towards you and you act back in an aggressive manner, who's right? But if you act aggressive towards me and I allow myself the power of forgiveness and peace not to raise my hand back up against you, then it's clear who the aggressor was. It's clear where the problem lies. If the problem doesn't lie with me, it must lie with you as the aggressor. And the Bible verse said, hey, let this man slap you on one side of your face and then turn the other cheek. Not be violent. Not be violent. So anyways, I've said enough ramblings about that. This isn't a black and white thing. It's not a brother and sister thing. It's a collective thing. The world has had injustice served upon itself for so long from so many other people that the world, every color, and I hate when people say black and white. It's us. It's us. It's us against them. It's us against the government, the people that support this behavior, right? Forget about all the groups out there that are burning down buildings and stuff. They belong in jail, and God bless the police. I don't even blame the police for what's happening here. The police are operating out of a fear-based position. They're trained. I'll say it again. They are trained to behave like this. Not all of them do this to this extreme, but they're trained to do this, right? The knee on the neck allows an officer to have two hands free while he's detaining an individual. Because people in handcuffs, they still run away. They get up and run away. People who really want to commit crimes don't want to go to jail, so they run away. They do anything they can. They fight back. They do a lot of other things. Was it right? Was it wrong? No. I agree. Remove those techniques from being trained in the police academies. Remove them. Chokeholds, knees on necks, knees in backs. Prevent that type of training. Rather than teach them how to do that, why don't you teach them how to be passive? How to say, okay, guess what? We understand. We still have to take you in. Put some compassion about that. How many minds can you change when arresting somebody instead of saying, "You stupid motherfucker, shut your mouth, get your hands on the ground, put your face down on the ground"? How humiliating is that? Why do you have to rub somebody's face in the asphalt or in the dirt? You got the handcuffs on them. Make people kneel down. Fine. Okay, put your hands behind your back. How much can a person do with his knee on his knees? Change the rules and the laws. Stop allowing people to misbehave, and you'll see positive change. But show me a riot for, well, Cesar Chavez, right? Big advocate of the Hispanic farm workers, but he was a pacifist as well too. And I hope I didn't misquote his name, but anyways, all I'm saying is that there's injustice for every race in this world. But you know what? Employment. Fix the employment problem of inequality, the disproportionate ratios of one race versus another. Who cares about the race? Make big corporations hire equally. For every 100 positions, divide that by the number of races and say, guess what? I have to have this number of people from each race. You know what? It forces people to do the right thing. If people aren't going to do the right thing because they want to, force them to do the right thing. Start taxing corporations with big money for sending business, American business, out of the state and sending it all to China, right? There was a point in time where you used to be able to, I want to go buy a part. It was all American made. There was no imports from any other country. It was all American made. When you do that, you create an infrastructure for this United States of America, or for any country. You create an infrastructure that's solid, that's financially fit. If you give people work to do, they're too busy to do bad stuff, create crimes or commit crimes. And that's the truth. Anyways, I want to do a general reading for the energy going into June. And I just seen that, forget about what's on the news right now, but I absolutely see that there's going to be a change, right? Not about the virus, right? The virus is just one of the symptoms, and if we didn't have the virus right now, we probably wouldn't even be facing this type of rioting and everything else. But when you take people's jobs away and money and ability to buy groceries for themselves, then they start creating counterfeit money like this guy did, and you force people to commit crime. Because people want to support their family. They want to do the right thing. If you have babies to feed, you're going to go out and steal and do whatever you have to do. Three angel cards we're pulling out of here. The energy, as I'm speaking, I feel the energy, but I'm feeling that there's going to be positive change. Positive change coming into June. But we need to stop making this a white and black thing and make this a universal thing. Again, remember the Hispanics, remember the Japanese, the Chinese, the Asians, the Italians, the people all over the United States and all around the world who are having horrible misinjustices done to them at the hands of our own governments who are proponents of this type of behavior. Stop the governments and you'll stop the problem. Reduce taxes, give people their money to spend and stop making the world, creating poverty for the world, taking away people's homes for taxes that we owe you. Oh, well, how the fuck do we owe the government any money at all? If you're not here working next to me side by side, I'm not sure why you should be getting anything. How are you helping me? How are you helping the people that you're giving stimulus checks to only people that make $100,000, $200,000 a year? And the people who really need it aren't getting stimulus anything. Two more cards, energy cards. I told you things are changing. I feel really a lot of positive energy right now. So even all the things I said, stand up, but don't rise up. Stand up and protect everyone from our government, from our police departments, right? The people that we empower to judge over us, right? The judges. Think about the judges we have elected that are appointed in our government. We have the right, through the power of voting, to change the dynamics in which we live. Let's call for appeals. Let's call for impeachments. Let's have people removed out of government. Just because you vote somebody in, we should have the power to remove them if they're not doing what they promised they were going to do and sell us a bill of goods. That should be a law. I got quite a few cards that popped out. So I'm going to just do these real quick, right? So I'm going to take every one of these cards because these angel cards is the message, what I'm looking for, the energy that's coming in. First card out, and I'm wearing my black and white to represent both my races, and I'm wearing an African dashiki in celebration, not because I'm pro-black, pro-white, pro-Chinese, pro-Spanish, Hispanic, Italian. No, I'm not pro-anything, right? I'm pro-people. Pro-people. The fucking color of someone's skin has absolutely zilch to do about who they are as a person. Zilch. And I will talk about we're not disposable. So I started this campaign, we're not disposable, last year. This is different between black people. Black lives matter. Every life matters. This is a sign of the Black Panthers, who are a terrorist group in the U.S. The Black Panthers never solved nothing. They should have Martin Luther King Panthers, right? Because they were people who just loved beyond all things, right? Anyways, the first angel card out is have confidence. Have confidence. And I told you, positive change is coming. And this is what I'm feeling now, right? It's not because of this rioting thing. The rioting thing, the police need to stop these looters and stop these people from committing crimes because, again, crime doesn't help us. Have confidence. Moving forward does not necessarily require you to have confidence in yourself. Confidence in God is enough. Along the way, and God can be replaced with Source. For me, that's who it would be. Along with knowing that God, Source, works through you and with you in all ways. Lean on us. Use us if your confidence wavers, and we will buoy your courage and faith. Meaning, we'll keep things on an even kill for you, right? If you're concerned about something, learn to give those things to God or Source energy, right? Learn to give those things to a higher power. The other card that comes out, right? Perfect timing, right? This is perfect timing. And I keep telling all my friends and neighbors, I've not told you, because I've not been online, but I've told all my friends and neighbors, look, well, and it did say it in the last showing, last reading, this is not bad change. This change had to happen. I talked about a purging of the Earth's energy and a cleansing. I talked about a unification. But before there's ever a unification, there's destruction, there's a tower moment. But again, this card talks about perfect timing. Perfect timing. It is now, right? It is now. It is now that the things that are happening to us, coronavirus, the bringing of bad police practices or bad government practices out into the open, it's time. It's time to announce it. Now is the perfect moment for you to act on your inspirations. The doors are open. While you walk through them, with us by your side, don't delay or procrastinate. I was going to say something else. Delay or procrastinate. I don't know why I'm just delirious on that word right there. I keep wanting to say procreate. Don't delay and procreate. Why does my mouth keep wanting to say that? Oh, sex. It's another wonderful thing. And the coronavirus, and I'm living it, I'm seeing it now, and I was going to say this earlier, and I know why I was going to say procreate, because when you're alone like this and sequester your house, sex is a very vital element to all of our lives, right? You got to have it, you want to have it. But it's not a reason to take bad people that we got, and I don't want to say got rid of, right? Because when I say people are not disposable, that means you don't have to stay with the person. But you don't have to mistreat a person when you say, I'm not a good fit for you, or you're not a good fit for me. There's a way to do things where people don't feel that they've been disposed of. That's what that statement means. People are not disposable. Don't make people feel that they've been disposed, because you can lead people in a way, a kind way. But procreate, right? You want to have it. So I see people weakening. And I'm telling you, I see it. I'm living it. In my own eyes, I'm watching this happen and unfold. I'm seeing people weaken and have people back because they're lonely sexually, emotionally, and everything else, and they're making bad choices for themselves. Don't fall back from where you were before, right? Because you made progress. You made headway. Don't weaken in times like this where there's this upheaval and uncertainty. Don't waver back and accept people back in your life that you know weren't good for you, but you're so lonely you can't help yourself. So anyways, again, don't delay and procrastinate, as all the ingredients are right for your success. So we got to have confidence, right? Have confidence in what I'm saying to you, that in June, by the end of things are going to start to change and evolve in a way. Because I think rather than allowing these social anti-unifiable groups to take place, the anti-fascism and the white supremacists and the Black Panthers and all these other groups who would rather see war and destruction on our land and soil than love and light. The timing for these are going to change, because the good people, the people who are now who have good thoughts, are going to emerge. We have to emerge in a way that we create and focus on positive change, not for one race, for all the races. And that means equality, right? Reward yourself. In June, you're going to be able to reward yourselves. You're going to be able to say, my gosh, I did the right thing. I wasn't a participant in the angst and the racial slandering back and forth, right? And the unification of all races, right? So, brothers and sisters, there's no color of a name needs to be mentioned in that statement. There's not. Don't fall weak, don't fall backwards during these times of struggle and need. Stay strong, stay in your power, be confident, because the timing is perfect right now for us to move a generation forward, right? Steady progress. The next card out, angel card out, is steady progress. This is what was going to happen through the month of June. It's going to begin. The progress is going to begin in June, and I see this and I know this. The coronavirus, you're not going to change that. Big business wants to make sure that you're sick, that you're getting weaned out. Come on, we have the cure for you have the cure for syphilis and gonorrhea. You have the cure for cancer. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the government and hospitals and pharmaceutical companies want you to stay hooked to them for those reasons too. They'll make you sick just so they can say, we made you well, and you're living because of us. Well, they made you sick in the first place, so let's not give them too much credit. Anyway, steady progress is going to be made over the month of June. This is energy I felt it last night. I felt very positive. Before that, I felt a lot of darkness and times of upheaval. But we acknowledge you for your progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities, right? Remember, don't step back to the past. Remember them, but don't step back. Don't allow people that were bad or negative influences or negative energy in your life to bring your energy down. Keep moving forward and progressing. It doesn't mean that you have to mistreat people when you dismiss people. When I say dismiss, I don't mean just kick out to the door and say, hey, bitch, here's your damn clothes. You throw them out on the yard or whatever the case people do these days, right? Don't do that. People make a lot of ranting and ravings and grab their stuff and make a big theatrical exit. We've all experienced that at the hands of someone, if not yourselves. But steady progress. Focus on service. Come on. These cards are speaking the truth of June, right? Be service. Don't just sit at home and go, oh my gosh. I don't mean go out and expose yourself to the virus, because you can't do that. But you can certainly write your governors, write your senators, write the president, write everybody in this world. Create a letter that exhaustively. I'm having a real tongue-tied day today, right? Exhaustively explains about how we can create positive change in our communities, right? Our communities. There is no doggone good reason that we should be electing people that put money into big corporate entities and taking money from the pockets of people who are struggling to feed their families. The government acts like they're doing you a favor by a stimulus check that 90% of you aren't getting. They're giving you the money that you gave them. Well, only 10% of the people are getting money that they gave the government. The rest of us are just saying, are getting ass out. So focus on service. Focus on creating change, right? Be an active participant in positive change and movement, right? If you're that source, you can't be a negative source, right? Do you have to go out and march with people on the streets? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You see lawyers on TV now that are firebombing, lawyers of prestigious law firms, firebombing police cars, firebombing stores, breaking windows, vandalizing. Is this the kind of dissension we have? Is this the kind of the mark? And guess what the news is showing? Black people doing this stuff. Where have you seen it? Have you seen any white people? You've seen one girl in a car holding a bottle that looks like a Molotov cocktail, holding a bottle that doesn't even look white. She's of some other descent, right? But where do you see white people doing that? You don't see that on the news. Are they doing it? I'm sure they are. But that doesn't sell. That doesn't get you watching 3.4 million views to watch a white person commit a crime against another white person or against the governmental entities. It doesn't sell news. The media wants to keep us all dumb and stupid. Well, I think they are. The next one out is child, right? Child. I don't see this as us having, oh my God, what did I do? Because I said procreate. Wow. Some of us, and I'm telling you, I hate to say this, it says child. You care deeply about children, and they readily respond to your love. All children, including your own inner child, require love, affection, and attention. We can clear and open your heart and schedule so that you can give more time and energy to the children who need you. So, I hate to say this, right? Over here, I kept saying procrastinate, but in my mind, it kept saying procreate. Making babies. In these times, some of us are going to make grave mistakes. Is a child a mistake? Absolutely not. Some of us are going to make mistakes. Stop taking our pills, stop wearing condoms, stop doing the right things because we're in such an emotional point of distress that we're willing to create unrest for ourselves. Don't go out and make babies now. Now's not the time. Love the children that you do have if you have them. If you don't love them, have children, go out and volunteer or to be a big brother or a big sister. Again, sister or brother, not a race, right? Those are that I have for the angel cards. The energy. I see positive improvement. I see people making mistakes and slipping back and having sex with the wrong people for all the wrong reasons. Listen, I had a call myself the other day, and a gal called me up and saying, "Hey, well, don't you like she used the P word, don't you like my," and I said, "Well, absolutely, it's fabulous. However, I can't, I just can't do it, right?" So you got to remember that with all things, there's good and bad, right? There's good and bad people in our relationships, good and bad people in our lives, our neighbors, even our friends. And it doesn't mean that people are inherently bad, and you got to remember that. I just want to say that, again, when we talk about crimes like this, don't focus on race. Focus on all the things that, in its totality, went to create this or allow this to take place, right? Don't think about the individual committing the act. Nor should you think about the individual committing the act of crime of robbery or rape or murder or anything else. Vicious crimes, just like killing a cop killing a person on the street. Doesn't matter the color that was killed. They're all vicious crimes. But think about what it took to get us here to allow these types of things to happen. Focus on that. If you focus on that, then we can create positive change for our societies, our collective, right? When we stop adding a color to a problem, we start making it everyone's problem. The energy is going to get better. As I seen it in last year, knowing that this was going to happen, I see it now, last night in my meditation, that there's going to be positive change in June. But the focus needs to remain to empower all people. Because when you start forgetting about people and things happening to them, the crimes against women, crimes against men, men on men, women on women crimes, men and fathers and parents on children crimes, when you put an umbrella around that, then you start to begin to realize that it's something deeper than the individual. It's the way our society is allowing these things to happen or to cultivate these types of behaviors. That's where we need to set our focus on. Again, love and light to all of you. And remember, a problem without a color is all of our problem. Namaste. Love and light. Stand in your highest possible energy.